Here in the heart of the Midwest, nestled amongst fields of corn and dreams, lies a town where the pulse of life beats in tandem with the ebbs and flows of the market. This is a town where businesses thrive and consumers benefit, all within the framework of perfect competition. A concept that just seems so straightforward. But is it really that simple? We reached out to the Council Bluffs Chamber of Commerce and asked them their thoughts on perfect competition. Favorable tax policies such as tax breaks and innovation incentives can reduce the burden on businesses, allowing them to invest more in R&D. But excessive taxation stifles growth, making it harder for businesses to compete. This Chamber of Commerce response really highlights the critical role that local governments play in shaping the business environment. They argue that favorable tax measures, such as tax breaks and innovation incentives, really alleviate the financial strain on businesses, which allows them to allocate more resources towards R&D, which would in turn result in better quality products. But they also caution against excessive taxation, which they say impedes economic growth. And so this is really underscoring the critical role that governments play in determining how businesses are going to perform and what needs to be done in order to achieve growth in business. We also interviewed a student currently taking advanced placement microeconomics and asked them their thoughts on perfect competition as well. So what do you think the key to perfect competition really is? Like, what do you think the most important concept of perfect competition is?
In my opinion, the most important thing about perfect competition would be the fact that there's no product differentiation. Everybody has the same product. You can't really pick and choose if you like this type more than this type because all you're getting is really the same type of thing. So that would be my answer to that one.
So can you give several examples of what you think like a perfect competition business or a perfect competition industry could be that really follows these guidelines?
I think that the most prevalent perfect competition industry would probably have to be in the agriculture industry. And given that we're in the Midwest, I think that's really kind of popular around here. And I think it's kind of a common theme to see agriculture, but also that it is the most common field, I guess, where you would see perfect competition really be in place.
So what do you think are some downsides, some cons, some consequences of having perfect competition be more prevalent?
Some downsides to perfect competition, I think, is the fact that there's no product innovation. Like businesses don't really have an incentive to develop better products. And so I think ultimately in the long run that will result, in lower quality products being sold just because businesses will have no real reason to produce better goods. And in addition, because all firms are price takers, in perfect competition, it would result it's a lot of fluctuations in prices, and that can result in really drastic changes to firms because they really don't have any control over how much they're going to charge. So they kind of have to go with the flow, and if the flow is not really going their way, then they're kind of screwed in a way, you could say, because they can't control that to earn more of a profit.
Do you think perfect competition is real in the first place?
Do I think perfect competition is real? Personally, I don't. I think it's really a hypothetical situation, but I know that is debated amongst economists around the world. I think the closest that we can get is agriculture, just as I said, but then you also have to remember that there are different types of corn, for example, like there's different types of seeds for each plant, so you can't really call the corn industry perfect competition. You can't call apples a perfect competition industry just because there's so many different types of apples that are grown that it's not really the identical product. There is a lot of differentiation, you could say, in the realm of different types of apples.
In the pursuit of insights for this documentary, we undertook a series of interviews with patrons at a local Hy-Vee supermarket in Iowa. This particular investigation involved approaching 5 individuals randomly selected from those in the produce aisle, particularly because produce, as you may know, is one of the only perfect competition industries in the world. My aim was to gauge their awareness and understanding of this economic concept known as perfect competition. During these interactions, it became apparent that only one of the interviewees even had a basic rudimentary understanding of what perfect competition is. The remaining 4 individuals, despite their diverse backgrounds and experiences, were largely unaware and didn't really know what impact this had on them and their lives. These interviews were conducted verbally, and they were not recorded out of respect for the interviewee's privacy and the practical constraints of the setting and guidelines. It is essential to contextualize these interviews within the Midwest region, as the understanding of economic concepts such as perfect competition can vary based on geographical and cultural factors. The Midwest, often characterized by its strong agricultural heritage and diverse economic landscape, really relies heavily on industries that are deeply affected by the principles of perfect competition, such as agriculture, corn, apples, soybeans, things like that. In this region where agriculture plays a significant role, the concept of perfect competition directly impacts farmers, producers, and consumers alike. Really, the Midwest's economy is intertwined with industries such as corn and soybean production, particularly in Nebraska, where market dynamics really do determine prices and accessibility of goods, which the overarching theme is influenced by perfect competition. And really, its influence extends beyond agriculture, which shapes the everyday lives of Midwesterners in various ways. It impacts pricing, availability of services. All these things are impacted by perfect competition. Hence why it's really important to know that perfect competition is not just an academic exercise and something to learn, but really it's a practical necessity for farmers and those living in the Midwest who really have a use for it every day. In conclusion, our exploration into the concept of perfect competition has come to an end, and it has revealed its profound but yet often overlooked impact on our everyday lives, particularly here in the Midwest. Through interviews conducted at the local Hy-Vee, to emailing the Council Bluffs Chamber of Commerce, to even interviewing college-level economics students, we've discovered a varied understanding of this economic principle among individuals and businesses alike, highlighting the need for greater awareness and education on the subject. In the Midwest, where industries such as agriculture are pivotal, the principles of perfect competition dictate market dynamics, influence prices, and influence the accessibility of goods. This economic concept extends its reach just beyond agriculture and helps to shape various aspects of everyday life, from retail to manufacturing to farming to production. As we reflect on the interviews and the insights we've gathered, it really becomes evident that a deeper understanding of perfect competition is crucial for the better navigation of the economic landscape in the Midwest. By recognizing its influence and implications, we can better appreciate the interconnectedness of our economy and make informed decisions that will benefit us all in the future.